morning, y'all. It is currently 7:45 in the morning. I know some of y'all still sleep, but I am out here in the garden, of course, just checking on things, making sure nothing's gone crazy. I found like 5 caterpillars the other day, even though I got everything covered. I don't know how they got in, so I like to come out here and make sure that everything's going good, everything's running smooth. I might fertilize a little bit this morning, but I'll give you guys a look at that too. I have a new little POV holder for my camera, so I'm gonna try to see how that works out. Show you guys a little glimpse of how I check my plants, how I look for bugs and all that good stuff. So just stay tuned. Good morning to everybody. I hope everybody has a good weekend. So this is usually the first bed that I come to in the morning. It's got all my mostly cool season veggies. As you can see, I got like a ton of lettuce. I need to start really chopping on that. Most people don't know that lettuces are cool season. So most varieties are gonna like cooler weather, 60s, 70s, 50s. They can take all that. And they grow really well in that temperature. Once it starts getting above 80 degrees, they don't like it, and they'll do what we call bolting, which you kind of see that with this one. They start to just essentially grow straight up and flower and grow the seeds. So if you want to, you can have perpetual seeds. Just let these go to flower and harvest the seeds, and you'll never have to buy seeds again. But enough about the lettuces. And we have our cabbage. So I stated earlier, that's where I found all those caterpillars. So at least 4 of these. I had one, and they like to hide. Sometimes they'll hide in this little cove right here. So you have to go in there and look. But most of the time they're gonna hide on the back of a leaf. It's kind of their way of hiding. And if you're not careful, you definitely won't see them. This one got ate up pretty good in the middle, so I don't know how that one's gonna turn out. I'm gonna let it grow though, see what happens. But a few of these haven't gotten worm damage. This one's pretty good. This one's got hit, so it just goes to show, like, nothing's perfect in the garden. You can always expect something to try to ruin your day, but overall they look good. I'm gonna fertilize them this morning. We've been getting a lot of rain, especially here lately, and I'm gonna go put some blood meal down. It's really good. It's high nitrogen. Our leafy vegetables like this, they like a lot of nitrogen. Helps them grow bigger and put out those leaf productions. And then we got what were supposed to be collard greens, but as you can see, these are not collard greens. I was highly upset because I started these in March, but as you can see, these are turnips. All of them are turnips, but it's all good. I do have some collard greens started in my other beds. I'll figure out something to do with these turnips. I've never used or cooked with the turnip, so I'll find a recipe out there that I can, try something new, I guess. And then here we got our, what are these? I forgot what these are. See, that's why you need to label your garden. Let's see, beets. There we go. All right, so these are beets. Kind of slow growing. I don't know what's going on with them. But they're here. They're getting there. So they might need some fertilizer. I didn't put any fertilizer down when I put these in, so that might be the reason. And then I have some onions, and then more beets over there. And then over in this corner, we got my cucumbers, which I might have to replant because it's been cold here in Indiana. Usually it's scorching hot this time of year, but for some reason we've had a little bit of a cold front come in, and it's kind of sticking around, so it's going to be in the 70s for a while, which 70s are fine. Last week we got down into the 50s and low 40s, so you know, these are summer crops, so they don't like that cool weather, so they're not looking terrible, but they're not looking probably how they should. But I'm gonna grow those up this trellis that I built, and then hopefully I can get it to grow all the way around, but we'll see. So this is the blood meal that I use. I'll give you a prime example of how well it works. These are romaines. These little ones right here, these are romaines. These I did not fertilize at all. I just threw them in the ground. I did grow these from seed, so they were a transplant. Grew these, but nothing. And you see the size of them, right? Then we have these. I put a little bit of fertilizer, just a tiny bit. It was kind of just an experiment I was running. Just a tiny bit of fertilizer. And didn't get much growth. Now if you look at those over here, like I put a lot more fertilizer in them, and they've grown great. I don't know if you can tell, but I have harvest from some of these, and it just shows you the difference it can make. Same with these ruby leaves. I did the same thing. Only put a little bit of fertilizer. Those over there planted at the same time, and I went heavy-handed with those, so you can see the difference and see that, you know, that it really does matter how you fertilize. But anywho, I'm gonna show you guys how I fertilize these. We're a few weeks in with these particular plants, so I think it's okay to go ahead and fertilize. I'll just show you one, but let's try to adjust this camera a little bit. As you can see, they're little pellets. Maybe if my camera wants to. There we go. As you can see, that's pellets, byproduct of, you know, manufacturing of our beloved animals that we eat. But yeah, they take the blood and put it into pellet form. So essentially, all you have to do is just spread it around the base of the plant, right? On each side. Right, and then you just work it in. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. You just work them into that dirt, and then once we water it, you know, they'll start to break down. It's a slow release, but it releases a lot. So yeah, that's all you have to do. I'm actually gonna put a little bit more in here. You don't want to go too crazy, but these haven't been fertilized in a while, and it's like I said earlier, it's been raining a lot, so some of those nutrients can get washed away. But that's all you have to do. So you take a couple minutes, and these plants will be good and happy, especially once that stuff starts to break down. But I'm gonna do that to the rest of these, and I'll come back with more of my morning routine. So just hold on for me. Ziggy, shut up. Ziggy. Check him out. It's always a good sign. They always come out when you start disturbing the soil. They'll shoot out. Like I'm just disturbing this piece or something. But that's what you want to see in your garden. Definitely, earthworms are your best friends. Free compost, free nutrients. Now check me out here. I know a lot of people, including myself, had never in my life heard of Swiss chard. This is it. It's not as common apparently here in the United States, but in Europe they love it. They grow a lot of it. I grew some last year. If you want to have a leafy green that's going to literally last the whole season, you can cut and come again on this. And this thing lasted, all summer. Like summer heat did not bother it at all. It was flourishing. So I decided to grow it again this year. I'm try to get this into my diet a little more. It's supposed to be really good for you. It tastes pretty good too. Last year I didn't know what to do with it, but this year I got a few recipes that I'm gonna try with it. Let's see, I don't know if you guys can see. You probably can't see, but we got some aphids over here, so I'm gonna grab my hose and spray them off, and so they don't try to decimate my plant. I didn't have aphids last year, so this is a new occurrence for me. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my hose and get them up off of there. All right, good as new. Got them bad boys off. All you have to do is take a hose to them, and they won't survive. Just knock them off the plant and keep on trucking. You can use some like neem oil if you want. That'll keep them off permanently, but I just like to just spray them off. They aren't like caterpillars. They won't decimate your crop overnight. But I got everything fertilized with my cabbages, so I'm gonna go ahead and water it in. A lot of times you see with these cabbages, their leaves literally take the water and put it at the base of the plant, and that's where I put that fertilizer. So I just do it like that, mix with that fertilizer and get that started. Now I'm being lazy right now. I don't feel like taking this whole net off. I'm not gonna go too crazy with the water, especially since we've had all this rain lately. And I'll shoot around to the other side. It's kind of a pain to take this net off. Alright, there we go. Let's give these bad boys some water. That one I'm watering right now, I got hit the hardest with caterpillars. Oh look what we got. It's a worm. Every time I start disturbing the top layer of this sorry, my dogs are outside. They don't like anybody riding. We have a little trail back there. They don't like anybody that goes back there. They want to bark. Anyways, like I was saying, can't remember what I was saying. But yeah, we got a worm. Let's check him out. Look at that. It's a good sized worm. Oh, that's what I was saying. They come out every time I'm disturbing the soil. They got a lot of worms in here. If you dig down just a handful, I'll see 5-10 worms. So I'll put him back, let him do his thing. He's giving me free nutrients. I don't have to pay for this stuff. All right, so done my inspection. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put my cover back on. This is one simple way to keep these critters off, especially once you actually get the ones that's been hiding, get them off of there. And I just throw this back on. I actually built this whole bed. I use these PVC pipes from Home Depot or Lowe's, I think. Yeah, Lowe's. And then just created this little cheap hoop house. Only costs maybe 10-15 bucks. So 15 bucks. And we were good to go. All right, that's all we needed. Now once it really starts to get hot and it settles in for the summer, this will keep that bug pressure down a lot. It's not gonna be perfect, especially with I'm going to open up access on this side for the cucumbers to go up this trellis. So it'll add a little bit of access point. I'm gonna still keep it on, but just kind of covering it. But so yeah, that's how I work on my first bed in the morning. Like I said, this is the one that I'm actually, especially with my lettuce, I'm actually actively harvesting off of. And, these guys, it has the most growth because these are all early season plants. So I will take you over to my other bed where I have some other stuff growing. All right, this is my tomato bed. So you can see it's very early. So everybody knows tomatoes are a summer crop. So they are not yet in full growth mode, especially with the cool weather here lately. They haven't been the happiest, but they haven't been bad either. I mean, really can't complain about this growth, right? When I first put these out here, it was probably down here since maybe 2 or 3 weeks. With the cooler weather, they're not going to grow as fast, but I am getting some good growth. This is a San Marzano. I plan to make some tomato sauces with this. I actually made quite a few, this whole row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think I have another one somewhere. It might be in my other bed, but they're all growing pretty good. I can't complain at all. Probably by September, this bed will be completely full. I won't even have any room. But right next to it, I do have a cantaloupe. I'm gonna drape it over into this little area, let it do its thing, because I really don't have to have access over here. I don't have to have access over here. I can go to the other side and work on my garden on that side. But I got cantaloupe here, got some marigolds, supposed to keep the bug pressure down. There I got some beans growing, some I think green beans, and they're finally starting to sprout. They're another summer crop. They don't like the cold, so they've been delayed a little bit. But yeah, I got my San Marzano, I got another cantaloupe over here. Then I have some cherry tomatoes. These are called super sweet 100s. Supposed to be a high yielding. Supposed to be super sweet for a tomato. In this middle part, these are Romas. See, I have to keep my signs here because I will forget what I planted. So all 3 of these are Romas. The reason I put them in the middle is because they're bush varieties. So they'll probably grow to about this tall. It's like maybe 2 or 3 feet, maybe 4. But they won't get much bigger than that, and they're determinate tomatoes, so they only are going to give you one big crop. So with these, you know, they're really good for making, like if you want to make a batch of tomato sauces and or any tomato-based sauce, these are what Romas are good for, and good eating. I love them on a salad. Then we'll shoot over to the other side. Over here we have this Black Beauty. Now this has been the most vigorous growth out of all of them. This thing is super tall. So I've never grown these before. They are like a black and purple tomato. So it's kind of an experiment. I want to try new varieties that I didn't try last year. So we'll see how it's going. It's getting that vertical growth. I'm looking for it to get a little bit more like maybe some suckers or something. It's looking a little weak now, but like I said, this is an experiment, so we'll just keep it rolling. And then we have here, this is my yellow brandy wine. Supposed to be a really good tomato. As the name stated, it is a yellow tomato. I've never had a yellow tomato, so I want to try one out. This one's been growing really good, so I'm looking forward to that one. Then we have a Ponderosa. This is kind of a pinkish tomato. Also been having great growth. I anticipate this is going to go crazy once the weather finally turns. And then last but not least, we have a yellow pear, and another yellow tomato. These are, like their name said, they're in a pear shape. So all this whole row is an experiment. I've never grown them, never even eaten these type of tomatoes, so we'll see. I'll definitely have an update video later on showing you guys how they turned out, what they look like, all that good stuff. But this is just my first tomato bed. All the ones on the outside are indeterminate, and I'm using the string trellis. So as they grow, once they get too tall, I can actually loosen this up and let them vine out, kind of bow as a vine out, and that'll keep me from getting too tall for the space, because almost all the indeterminate ones I have in the garden, they can some of them get to 10 foot tall. I'm not necessarily looking for them to get that big. I'd rather keep them confined to this space, but this will help. This whole system will help. And I can do another video specifically on this and how it's set up and all that good stuff. All right, there's my little dog, Ziggy. There's my old man, Jax. And here's my third garden bed. This one's only been planted for maybe 2 weeks, if that. These are my pepper plants in the middle. Then I have some zucchini. Both of these are zucchini. And this is kind of another good example of like kind of what I'll do different next year. These zucchini were planted at the same time. This zucchini, I didn't put anything in the starting mix. I wasn't even thinking about it. In all the videos I've ever watched, it always tell you to put some type of nutrients into your starting mix once they get a certain size. But I didn't, so luckily I still have it. But you can tell, like with this leaf, it's a little lighter in color. This whole thing, when I first put it in, was all yellow. But it's greened up. I hit it with some nutrients, gave it a lot when I planted it. But if you look at that one and then look at this one, you can see the difference. This one, after I got done, once it first started sprouting, I took it out of the seed starting mix and actually putting it in a potting soil or organic potting soil. So you can see the growth difference. See? And they're both flowering, which is a good sign, especially considering all the cold we've been having. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on this. This is another crop that I've never grown before. I do love zucchini, especially in spaghetti or some zucchini noodles. So I'll definitely do an update video on all these. Then if we look at my peppers, I got bell peppers, 4 bell peppers back there. I got 4 jalapenos, and then I have 4 habaneros. Now, I will be the first person to admit that I probably planted too many peppers, but I didn't have really good luck with peppers last year. So, and I started from seed, so it's totally 2 different scenarios. Last year I bought them from the store. I bought jalapenos, which didn't do great, and they weren't spicy at all. And then I did tomatillas last year. Now tomatillas, they went absolutely nuts. Nobody told me that, for one, I shouldn't plant 3 of them in 1 square box, but I did, and they took over my whole garden bed last year, which is a good thing if you love like a salsa verde, but I'm not a huge salsa verde person. I like the red sauces better, but I learned my lesson. So this year, all these, actually everything in my garden, I started from seed. So we're gonna see how these peppers do this year. It's a work in progress. That's the one thing that, like, you'll see a lot of YouTube gardeners, they won't show you or tell you about the trials and errors and messing up on stuff. But last year, I think, especially my jalapenos, I got maybe 1 or 2 per plant. I think I had 3 plants, and they weren't spicy at all. So to me, that just makes them not good. I still ate them, but I was like, I want a little bit of a kick. And then these habaneros, even now, they don't look great. They're like they might be stunted a little bit, but I'm gonna let them rock and see how they turn out. And then my bell peppers, they like they're starting to put on some good growth. I do have some flowers are coming, so they're ready to produce some bell peppers, but I'm probably gonna pinch those off. This plant is way too small. They won't be able to hold up. I would want those to be, a little bit higher up before they actually start making those big old bell peppers. So I got more cantaloupe. As you can tell, I love cantaloupe, so I planted quite a few. I got some Brussels sprout. This is one that I was going to give up on. I gave up on broccoli. I just didn't think it was worth it, especially broccoli. You do all that work and get 1 head of broccoli. But these Brussels, they showed resilience, and they've been rocking and rolling. So I'm gonna let them stay. Then I have an eggplant. Never grown this before, so we'll see how that turns out. And then this whole row right here is all watermelon. Now, I'll self-proclaim that my watermelon was terrible last year. So I did get a better start. I will say that. Last year, this is about as big as my watermelon plant got. It did produce a baby watermelon. I mean, when I say baby, I mean infant-sized watermelon. Nothing you could even eat. And then I think I left for a weekend and came back, and it was decimated by the slugs. So, yeah. This one looked like it's not doing the greatest, but I think all these are sugar babies. And then I have, I think these 2 might be crimson sweets. So we'll see. I'm gonna drape these over my square foot bed, over the bed, and then this whole area where Jack's is gonna be hopefully full of vines and watermelon. I'm gonna cut it off. I'm gonna cut it off over there, cut it off over here. Keep these guys out. And then this is my 4th bed. This bed, this is I literally named it in my app, the random bed. Because on this end, I got strawberries. As you can see, I have 3 empty spots. Those are the 3 strawberries that didn't make it. But already I have, let me see if you can see that. Let me take this off real quick. And I was warned to buy this by a couple people on Facebook, but sorry for the camera work. All right, but I don't know if you guys, the camera, there we go. There's one. We got runners already. So, I kind of anticipate that this whole side would be full. So I'm not too worried about not having those other 3 work, but this is their first year. I bought bare root. Everybody says I'm supposed to take these off, but hey, it wants to produce, I'm gonna let it produce. Plus I want to try the strawberries out. We have some, like, they're getting decent size, so, and this one has some runners right here. So I anticipate this whole side of the bed probably being taken over. And in general, I said next year, I'm gonna let this whole bed be strawberries. But yeah, there's not too much going on. Like I said, I got strawberries over here, got onions in the middle, spinach, which I probably put out a little late. Spinach likes cold, so I should have put them out a little bit earlier, but we've had some wonky weather. And then I have some real collard greens, and it's sad because they would be a lot bigger if I planted them when turnips, you know, when I planted them the first time. But oh wait, here we are. I got these are supposed to be a little bit heat resistant, so they're slow to bolt. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here. So, and they've been putting on some good growth. Like, it looks nice and healthy. So hopefully I'll be able to get a good harvest from them. Then over here, I just have some random lettuce, some romaine, and I believe this is romaine too. This is a weird variety. I've never seen it cup like that, but that's how it is sometimes. And then I have this cabbage over here, and I ain't gonna lie, I kind of neglected this cabbage. That's why it has so many holes in it. But like I said, this was a random bed, so I just kind of put stuff in here. I just have these freaking carrots. So I put carrots in here, nothing sprouted. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll go ahead and put some spinach in here. Now I have spinach and carrots in here. Now I don't know which ones to get rid of. I'll probably get rid of the spinach. Yeah, probably get rid of the spinach since I have 3 more squares full of that, and just let the carrots stay. I have carrots over here too. I think what happened was, like, planted some carrots over here, then I forgot, put some spinach over there. Also planted some over here, and then now, you know, I got it split. And then there's some more Swiss chard. These are babies, so they'll start to kick in. I have 3. I forgot what they're called. I'll have to look it up, but I might put it on the screen. But I have 3 of these, which is the one from the ones I showed you earlier. And then I have another one that's supposed to be like a different variety. And then my onions. Onions are another one. I started them from seed, but they didn't grow. I didn't do it properly. I didn't look it up before I did it, but they didn't grow properly, so I just went out and bought some onion sets. I didn't have luck with onion sets last year, but I also planted them super late last year, so we'll see how they go this year. All right, and this is my patio garden. I don't say that because my patio is like right here, but I got more tomatoes. And these are all different varieties. Actually, this one is the same as the other ones. You can see they get tall. This is another Black Beauty. This one is a Kellogg. Then we have, let's see, what was this one? Oh, this is where that other San Marzano is. It's right here. It's going pretty good. And on this other side, we have a Black Creme, which I've heard good things about. The Black Creme right here. And then we have a Marglobe, which just looks like a regular round red tomato. And then here we have another yellow brandy. I planted two of the ones that I heard were really good, so we'll see. All right, and then over here I have this is a zucchini, or not zucchini, it's a winter squash. I don't think I've ever even eaten a winter squash, but here we are. This one's doing pretty good. Like I said, the weather has been a little wonky, so they have really good growth and then just stopped because of the weather. Then I had some extra pepper plants. These are mysteries. I'm assuming these are probably jalapenos, but I can't remember. So we'll see what they grow. And then I have more collard greens. As you can see, I'm a fan of collard greens. I grew up eating them, so I was like, I gotta try to grow them. I didn't get any last year, so we have them right here. And then we have an empty space. I'm probably gonna fill up with more lettuce. But just like these little baby lettuce. So I even have more space to grow stuff, but that's the one thing about gardening. You can get overwhelming once you get a lot. So I have 5 beds total. And yeah, it's a journey. And then my last little part of my garden, which I consider, it's my trees. Now, I will say, this peach tree came from Lowe's. It's not doing the greatest. I had to pretty much just trim off all this because it was dying. But I'm trying not to give up on it, especially since this is looking pretty good up here. I wasn't really expecting any fruit or anything. I was just looking for some growth and maybe fruit in a couple years. But this is my peach tree, so I'm gonna see if it's gonna make it through. If not, I do have a 1-year warranty, so I will take this bad boy back and grab another one. But yeah, that's my peach tree. It's a Hale Haven peach tree. And then I have my apple tree, which is overgrown. Essentially, I probably am supposed to trim this down, especially the way it's leaning. But that's kind of, my stakes have not been the greatest, and the wind's been crazy. And we're starting to get apples. I wasn't even planning on getting apples this year, but as you can see, I got quite a few, but already getting some bug damage already. So, but I think I'm gonna do the responsible thing and get rid of most of these, just so next year I can get a little bit better harvest. But yeah, this is why I gotta keep I can't remember what this is. It's a red apple, and I got it to go with my Honey Crisp, which is further down. But this is the only one that's producing any fruit right now, and I'm gonna fix this. It's gonna bother me. I'm gonna fix this. But yeah, getting pretty good growth on that one. That one looks like it's ready to roll. It's just, out of all the trees, this is the most unstable one, which is hilarious because it's the one that's actually giving me fruit. But oh well, I won't complain. Like, we have some good growth down here, some good growth on this side, that side. So with these, I'll definitely prune these down a lot. I've seen a ton of videos where you get really good production by pruning them. So I'll prune these down a lot, especially maybe towards midsummer. And then I have my Honeycrisp. This is the one I wanted the most, and was hoping that I would get lucky and it would drop some flowers or something, but it didn't. But I'm not mad about it. Like I said, I knew that it could take 3 or 4 years before I could get something out of them. But overall, I think it's making it. It's still struggling a little bit, but it has put on new growth, so that's a good sign. Like, this is all right here. This is all new growth. Same with up here. This is all new growth. New growth. So it's not the worst, but it's not the best. We'll just keep working it. I might prune this a little bit, but nothing crazy. Yeah, nothing crazy. Not like that one. That one's gonna have to get some work, but my Honeycrisp is good to go. But yeah, that's it. This is the view of my little gardening space. Yeah, I can't complain, man. I got everything contained. I've been working pretty hard on getting all this stuff. Like I said, everything that you see, I've grown from seed. So we're just gonna keep rocking it, and I'll give more updates throughout the season. If you guys have any questions or anything, especially newer gardeners, just hit me up in the comment section. I would not mind answering some questions for you guys, but I'm gonna leave it to it. You guys have a good day, and I will talk to you guys next time. Little shout out to the old man, grumpy old man. Nobody told me dogs get grumpy when they get old, but he looks sweet now, but he can be, yeah, he's my man though. He's the man.